Kaima Cosmetics, let's talk about it. Of course, that's probably the reason you clicked on this video, but are you just wondering what Kaima Cosmetics is, what this brand is about, is it any good or not, or are you already loving Kaima Cosmetics and just looking for a discount code to get your goodies a little bit cheaper? Well, in that case, I'm gonna go against all the rules of the YouTube gurus and tell you right away that the code is Themirrorbeauty. It will give you 10% off. However, you might want to stay with us, me and the people who are wondering what Kaima Cosmetics is, because I will not just be showing you the goodies that I have from Kaima Cosmetics, so many, but I will also tell you about my tips and tricks on how to best use them. And you might be especially interested if you have oily eyelids and have problems with these beautiful sparkles lasting on your face. So let's start taking a look at each of those products. I have used them all multiple times and I will show you all the looks, all the swatches. You'll see the eye swatches, the lip swatches. Yes, you can use them on the lips too. They also have lip glosses. So let's start with the loose pigments, shall we? Because Kaima Cosmetics makes the sparkliest loose pigments ever and no one will convince me otherwise, okay? Let's start with a classic and an absolute banger holo pigment, but the next one will be even cooler. You may ask how this is possible. If this holo pigment has a silver base and reflects all the colors of the rainbow, and I have used it in so many looks already on the eyes, on the lips, it is absolutely amazing. It is a loose pigment, meaning it has no base to it. So for example, on these lips that I did for the holidays, for Christmas, I applied the pigment on a glitter primer. You can watch the tutorial, but I used a lipstick base, I used a glitter primer, and I applied the pigment for it to be opaque. Now, in some other looks, I can use less of a glitter primer or not use it at all, and in that case, the holo will be scattered. You know, there will be this twinkling effect because it won't be as dense, but I do love using this one dense. Highly recommend this one. Absolutely amazing pigment. But the next one, this is called Abyssal and it does not look so impressive in the jar. Although once you open it, you kind of realize there is a lot going on, but once you put it on your face, oh my goodness, the colors are shifting insanely. It has a blue base to it. You can hardly see the blue base itself. If you apply the pigment on a clear base, the blue base will be barely visible, and the shifts mainly go from pink through yellow to teal to green to teal. They are absolutely gorgeous, and what I love to use for this pigment as a base is actually a blue base to kind of complement the base of the pigment itself. Abyssal is also on my lips. I'm using it on my lips without a glitter primer, so you can definitely see that scattered effect. We have the sparkle, we have some color shifting, but it does not cover the lipstick completely. You can see the color base showing through. However, on my eyes, it is more densely packed, and I'm an oily eyelid girly. For the longest time, I could not make the loose pigments last on me properly. I applied them on my regular eyeshadow primer, which is kind of more made for pressed eyeshadows, so it does not hold up these pigments so well, and they have that more scattered effect. They are not as dense. So when I got like a bunch of multichromes, I decided that I want them to show up a little bit more, so I used a glitter primer on my oily eyelids, and I put the pigment on there and everything was well. It looked fine, except like an hour or like maybe a little more later, and I used the NYX glitter primer that time, by the way. It started creasing on me because, well, glitter primer is a bit more creamy than the regular one, and the regular one that I use for my oily lids is Smashbox 24/7 for the finish eye primer. So that one really makes my eyeshadows last, my pressed eyeshadows and my matte eyeshadows. However, with these, I was like, what do I do? If I want the pigment to show up really properly, I have to use a glitter primer. But if I want it to last, then I need to use a regular primer. So here's the trick I came up with. I use a regular primer, I use a pressed matte eyeshadow, either as the base color, as I did here, for example, that I want to show through just a tiny bit, or if I don't want a base color at all, I just use a nude eyeshadow, which is as close to my skin tone as possible. I let everything set, I use a glitter primer on top of that. And then after I let it set again, I apply the loose pigment. And that way, babes, it lasts and lasts and lasts. I've been wearing this for a few hours already. Let me show you so that you understand this is in real time. You can see that it doesn't crease. It is not creasing because I have an eyeshadow primer and a matte base underneath, and then on top I'm using the NYX glitter primer again and the Kaima Cosmetics Abyssal pigment. I remind you that my code is Themirrorbeauty and it is affiliated. Yes, I do get a commission, just so that you know. You are also supporting me by using this code, and of course you're supporting yourself because you're getting 10% off. Okay, we've seen some holo flakes, we've seen a great multichrome. Now let's take a look at just holo. The color is called Fusion. Okay, it's not just holo, it's a holochrome, but I just meant that the powder and the holo are much finer than the holo silver flakes, and this also shifts very beautifully. You can definitely catch that shift. Once again, you can use the same trick for the eyes, and I absolutely love using this holo for the lips. As you can see, I did the lace lips trend using this pigment, and I also think that this one in particular makes an especially great highlighter because of the fine particles. It looks more natural, if I can say that about a highlighter shifting from pink to green, meaning like it doesn't look chunky. There's nothing wrong with a chunky glitter highlight if you want that, but if you don't, I really love using this one. And another fine pigment is Mystical. Oh my goodness, this one is unbelievable. Like when you see it in a jar, you can see that it's blue with a pink shift, like a blue base with a pink sparkle. But when you put it on the eyes, it shifts through so many colors. It definitely has the pink, especially if you apply it sheerly. It has the pink, it has the blue, but it also has the teal, and it can shift almost to green. This pigment is, I think I already used half of the jar, and guys, if you know me, I usually don't wear eyeshadow in everyday life because I don't have time. So I go with just colorful eyeliner. So to me, using like half a jar, I think even more than half a jar of the pigment, is insane. Like, is insane. I never used that much. Which ones? Okay, these. These are called Aquamarine, and oh my goodness, they are a flaky texture. They're duochrome, not multichrome. They shift from teal to purple. However, this duochrome is very true duochrome. You can clearly see both colors. You don't have to have like some kind of an extreme angle to see the shift. It really shows. You can see it on my eyes in the Halloween clown look. In another one I did on the lower lid, you can see that every time both colors really show, even without a flash, even without anything like that. And the last pigment we have, but not the last product, is called Utopia, which is also flakies, and it's kind of similar to Fusion in a way, except Fusion is pinker in its base and Utopia is kind of purpler, but they do have a very similar shift when applied. This one looks a little bit more pink, this one looks a little bit more purple. They both shift to green, and I think the main difference between these two, which makes them really not similar in my opinion, is that this one has a flakes texture and this one has a very fine like powdery texture with holo. So they are totally different finishes, although they are the same, well, not the same, but like very similar colors. If you have watched until this point, drop a star emoji in the comments. This will be a little secret for those who haven't watched, and please leave this video a like so that it can spread to more people. Thank you. If you're wondering what else Kaima Cosmetics is making, they're also making pressed eyeshadows, which unfortunately I haven't tried yet. They also have the eyeshadow palettes, which contain pressed eyeshadows, both mattes and sparkles, and I would love to try and see how they last on oily lids. Just haven't had the chance yet. Please come back to my channel later, and as soon as I have them I will let you know. But they also make liquid eyeshadows. This one is called Orion. It is a stunning holochrome, which goes from violet to like a little bit green, but the main draw of it is the holo. The holo really sparkles like crazy, and you might be wondering, well, if you have oily eyelids, how on earth are you wearing that? Well, I'm not wearing it on my eyelids, except I can wear it on my lower lid, which is not as oily. However, as for the top lid, it's not because like Kaima Cosmetics has bad quality. No liquid eyeshadows stay on my oily lids for longer than 20 minutes. None. Ever. Zero. It doesn't matter which primer I use. They just aren't there 20 minutes later. So I can swatch them, take a photo, but that's the most I can do. So I use it on my lower lid, and I absolutely love using it as a lip topper. This was actually the main goal when I wanted a liquid eyeshadow like that, to use it as a lip topper. It looks so stunning. This can also be used as a highlighter. I actually wanted to use it today, but I didn't want to take away from the eyes, so I decided to go with something simpler for my cheeks. But you can actually use it as a highlighter. You just need to blend it a little bit more, or not. whichever you prefer. Like, I do blend it a little bit more when I use it as a highlighter. And then there is also a thing that is specifically for the lips this time. It's definitely not usable on the eyes by anyone, I assume. And this is a lip gloss. This one is called Amethyst Rouge, and this shifts from purple, like a warm purple, almost pink, to green, almost teal. It is a very, very beautiful color. I love using it with a dark lip liner. I used it with a black lip liner in the swatch, but I think like a purple, a green, a dark blue lip liner, even a dark red one, they would all go absolutely great. Let me know which Kaima Cosmetics product was your favorite. Don't forget to use my link and the code in the description box if you want to get a discount. And if you want reviews on other brands, indie ones and not, here's the review playlist with my honest opinions. See you there. Bye.